This is Stephanie, and this is the Mocha Minutes Podcast. Hey guys, before we get into the episode, I just want to let you know about something that's a little new here at the Mocha Minutes Podcast. We are now participating in Buy Me a Coffee. So if you haven't heard, buymeacoffee.com is a place where you can show some support and some love monetarily to some of your favorite content creators. That includes me. So it's in the increments of either $1, $3, or $5, and you can do as many as you would like. So I just wanted to let you guys know, would love some support. So if you would go to buymeacoffee.com/Mocha Minutes, I would greatly appreciate it. It will also be in the show notes. Okay, here we go. For all we know, we may never meet again. Before you go, make this moment sweet again. We won't say goodnight until the last minute. I'll hold out my hand, and my heart will beat for all we know. This may only be a dream. We come and we go like the ripples of a stream. So love me tonight. Tomorrow was made for some. Tomorrow may never come. For all we know. Hello, welcome to the Mocha Minutes Podcast, or I should say, welcome back. I'm Stephanie. Thank you so much for joining me. That song was made popular by Donny Hathaway. Donny Hathaway has this rich timbre to his voice. For all we know, is probably one of my favorite songs of all time, if I'm being quite honest. Ruben Studdard definitely did a great cover of it. And every time I hear that song, it reminds me of my dad. Because honestly, when we lose someone, we don't know. We have hope. We hope that we can see our people again. And I really do hope I get to see him again in the hereafter and just laugh. But again, it's a hope that I have. Back from hiatus, and I just want to thank everybody who has reached out. Thank you for everybody who is listening and rocking with the Mocha Minutes Podcast for it'll be 6. Oh my gosh, it'll be 6 years in September. So I appreciate all of you for listening. I appreciate all of you sending me nice cute memes, notes, general just love. I really, really do appreciate all of you. You've helped more than you know. So I appreciate it. What has been getting me through hiatus is one, the support of everybody around me, the love that I have for family, the love that my family has shown me, um, great music, really good shows, entertainment, foolishness on TikTok. Water Talk has me in a chokehold, but it's about hydration and I love it. I love it being called bougie Kool-Aid. I love seeing the different ways you can dress up hydration and make hydration fun. I really like it. It's really fun. I have looked for new things. I've been following people. It's just fun. And that's what I need in my life is fun. I also have been thrown down this rabbit hole of on TikTok of listening to people going like reading Am I the Asshole stories from Reddit. And either they're baking a cake, one is making ice cream. I've seen ice cream being made. I've seen a lot of like cakes with a lot of fruit in the middle. And I'm trying to, yeah, I'm sorry. I don't like y'all. I'm somebody who doesn't like warm fruit. So it's just like apple pie. I'm like, yeah, I will literally pick out the pieces of apple and eat the crust and it's so weird to me. It's like I don't like hot fruit. So, but I don't like fruit fillings, like I don't like jelly donuts or that kind of stuff. Like, girl, I don't like it. I'm like, I don't know. Maybe I sound like a weirdo just admitting this out loud. So I'm like, why is this fruit? And I'm looking at what kind of frosting they're making. I'm like, girl, what is this? But also I see the ones where they had like the temple runs and it's like basically it's like you're making a little character move and collect coins. That's the other ones. But yeah, the Am I the Asshole tickety talk hole that I'm in is like, girl, what? Um, yeah. So it's kind of crazy. It's interesting to look at the For You page of TikTok. Like, know if I'm gonna start switching to the people I'm following because that's what I did on Twitter. Because the For You under Twitter is just like, girl, nope, you're gonna have my pressure up. Sidebar: I'm not exactly sure why this is, but my girl Zell, I never see her stuff under following. It's under For You, and I'm not exactly sure why. Because one, we follow each other. It's so weird. I'm like, why don't certain people that we are mutual follows, mutual friends, I don't see them under my following. It's under my For You under Twitter, and I'm like, you know what? I was hoping that the dictatorship that is Twitter would have like dissipated these two tabs and just re-merged it, but it's like I don't know. Maybe people like the way it is. Drives me nuts because For You is like for my pressure to go up on Twitter. I haven't switched to that on TikTok because let's find more people, and my FYP is just wild to me. All right, so I said we're going to do a solo Dolo episode because it's a that has gotten on mama's nerves. Okay, that I was just like when I felt like basically, um, I just needed a mental break, and it's just like it became so heavy, and I just needed to break. I knew I was ready to come back when I could send that I can actually go back to having conversations about stuff outside of reality TV with my friends. I'm like, okay, I think I'm ready. I think I'm ready. So I'm very, very excited about this. Because one, I get to put out new content, but also anybody who is grieving, anybody like who is coming for me, I've gotten really great advice from people who have grieved, and mostly people who have grieved like big losses. And the one thing that really sticks out to me is the best advice I've been given is that just be kind to yourself. Stop expecting yourself. You are not like a rubber band expecting yourself to like snap back in. Sometimes you need a little bit more time. And that is okay, honestly. And it should be okay. Like, I think we think about like, I'm like, oh, you got a good X amount of days to get yourself together and get back out there. Because one, grief is not linear. It's not. Because you can be good for a few weeks and all of a sudden you're like, I just want to lay in bed and play on my tablet and watch funny things. You have those moments. I know I have these moments now. But again, I got a good advice to be kind to myself. So I usually pass on that advice. Be kind to yourself. That being said, let me give you, let's get into some topics where I'm not going to be kind to some people. Okay, so let's start with the Jason Aldean of it all. So, Jason Aldean, who yeah, girl. Um, Jason Aldean is a guy who sings the country music. Decided to put in May, he put out a song called Try That in a Small Town. Now, here's the deal. We're going to look up the lyrics and I'm going to read the lyrics. This is exactly what the lyrics said. And also, by the by, Jason Aldean didn't write this song. He most notably pointed out that somebody else wrote this song he just sang, and it spoke to him. Here are the lyrics. Sucker punch somebody on the sidewalk, carjack an old lady at a red light, pull a gun on the owner of a liquor store. You think it's cool? Well, act a fool if you like. Cuss out. Oh my God. Cuss out a cop, spit in his face, stomp on the flag and light it up. Yeah, you think you're tough. Well, try that in a small town. See how far you make it down the road. Around here, we take care of our own. You cross that line, it won't take long for you to find out. I recommend you don't try that in a small town. Got a gun that my granddad gave me. They say one day they're going to round up. Well, that shit might fly in the city. Good luck. Oh, Lord have mercy. Try that in a small town. See how far you make it down the road. Around here, we take care of our own. You cross that line, it won't take long for you to find out. I recommend you don't. Try that in a small town. Full of good old boys raised up right. If you're looking for a fight, try that in a small town. Try that. I'm reading this exactly how it says on this thing. Try that in a small town. Try that in a small town. See how far you make it down the road. Around here, we take care of our own. You cross that line, it won't take long for you to find out. I recommend you don't. Try that in a small town. Try that in a small town. Try that in a small town. Okay. So those to the song. Here's the deal. I'm not saying that there are not liquor stores in small towns, but if this is not a whole bunch of dog whistling, also good old boys, he's a good old boy. If this is not a dog whistle, I don't know what it is. When I first saw the discourse, I didn't see the discourse until the video. So when I mentioned it on my TikTok, I was basing it on the fact that the only thing I really saw like people had issue with was the video. And it probably is because people were looking at the video and maybe not listening to the lyrics because they're like, girl, what the heck is this? So I was like, oh, okay, I don't know. And the more I went down that rabbit hole on on TikTok, you saw people saying, what kind of song is this? And then let's talk about the video. So in the video, he has a lot of footage of protests, but he'll label as riot, stock photos, people destroying property. Interestingly enough, he didn't have any footage from January 6, 2021. It's actually kind of interesting that never comes up. You are not showing stock footage of, I don't know, white college town destroying their town when their team wins a big game or just a game in general or Sweet 16 and like March Madness. Like you're not showing that kind of footage. You're not showing what happened on January 6th, 2021. Here's the other thing about this. Jason Aldean is not from a small town. He's from Macon, Georgia, which is literally not a small town at all. So let's talk a little bit about the controversy. So the song was released on May 22nd, And then a video was released on July 14th. So, and this is, I'm pulling some information from People. Shout out to Kelsey Gibson from People. Thank you, girl. Directed by Sean Silva, the music video featured a performance in front of the Maury County Courthouse in Columbia, Tennessee, where the 1927 lynching of Henry Chode took place. Chode was an 18-year-old Black man accused of attacking a white woman. The video also included visuals of vandalism and riots that appeared to take place during the 2020 racial injustice protests. But as someone on TikTok have pointed out, some clips are taken from stock footage or from protests in other countries. The location is a popular filming location outside of Nashville, per Tackle Box, the music video's production company. They also cited several music videos and films that have been filmed there, including most recently the Lifetime original movie Steppin' Into the Holiday with Mario Lopez and Jana Kramer, Runaway June's We Were Rich video, a Paramount holiday film, A Nashville County Christmas with Tanya Tucker, as well as the Hannah Montana film. In a statement to People, Tackle Box confirmed Aldean did not pick the video location and refuted speculation about its history of lynching being tied to the video filming. Here's the deal about this. They can say, oh, Jason Aldean didn't know. You know who did know? The production company. The thing about it is that was the first thing if you looked at the video, they're like, oh, well, other stuff has been filmed here. I'm like, yeah, but look at what you're actually talking about. You're talking about holiday movies, which, by the way, is just literally filming the courthouse that's in the town that it probably is supposed to be in. This thing, like, where the other things filmed literally dog whistles to people, to the good old boys, to the white people who literally think they can just, they can have an issue with how the country is shaping up. But if a Black or brown person says anything, it's y'all lucky that we let y'all do something. Here's the thing about this whole small town thing and the hillbilly of it all, the redneck of it all. You know what's really funny about this whole thing when you see white people like Jason Aldean and how they perform and how they act? You're under this impression that hillbillies like police either. They fucking like them either. They them. They don't like it. They don't like authority. So why are you under this impression that, like, not respecting cops or not liking cops or thinking cops are bad? I think that's a Black thing or a non-white thing. Baby, you're kidding me. Have attention? Excuse me. January 6, 2021 was full of white people who literally didn't like the authority. They literally are committing treason. And people aren't sitting here going like they are so unpatriotic. Y'all called Colin Kaepernick unpatriotic for years. You still do. Sorry, are you calling any of those people from January 6th unpatriotic at the same volume? Let me say that, because there'll be somebody who says, no, I said it, girl. Nope, we're not doing this. At the same rate and volume as Colin Kaepernick. Are y'all saying it about what happened in January 6th? Y'all barely even talk about it. People who literally, a woman who has a whole podcast had a whole 45-minute episode about a 4.5 or 5-minute song called WAP and how about that whole song, but could not find the words for January 6th. It's because, one, for some people, like that lady who likes to be real, it's easy to talk about something when the perpetrators don't look like you. It's so easy to talk about that. So let's keep going about the backlash. So it's about Henry Chode. It's about the place that you've picked. And the thing about it is, this is a Maury County courthouse in Columbia, Tennessee. You mean to tell me there were no other courthouses you could have got clearance to film at? None? You had to pick that one? Please. Okay. So we got the backlash because people ate his ass up. So after the video was released, Jason Aldean put out the following on his Twitter feed. In the past 24 hours, I've been accused of releasing a pro-lynching song, a song that has been out since May and was subject to the comparison that I, direct quote, was not too pleased with the nationwide BLM protests. These references are not only meritless, but dangerous. There is not a single lyric in the song that references race or points to it. And there isn't a single video clip that isn't real news footage. And while I can try and respect others to have their own interpretation of a song with music, this one goes too far. As so many pointed out, I was present at Route 91, where so many lost their lives, and our community recently suffered another heartbreaking tragedy. No one, including me, wants to continue to see senseless headlines or families ripped apart. Excuse me. Try that in a small town for me refers to the feeling of a community that I had growing up, where we took care of our neighbors regardless of differences of background or belief, because they were our neighbors and that was above any differences. My political views have never been something I've hidden from. And I know that a lot of us in this country don't agree on how we get back to a sense of normalcy where we go at least a day without a headline that keeps us up at night. But the desire for it to, that's what the song is about. Several things. Because this was right after. So again, he's like, this is not true. He said, I've been accused of releasing a pro-lynching song, a song that's been out. So here's the thing. A lot of people said, like, why would you choose that courthouse? The courthouse of a horrific, tragic thing, which is literally a man was literally in jail. A mob came and got him, dragged his body to that courthouse, and then hung him up there. And you decided, your team, who couldn't literally do a Google search of these places, and decided to do it anyway. But I don't know what's worse, the fact that he chose this or the fact that, what's really odd? This courthouse is probably not a unicorn. There's probably a lot of places, little small towns that have this kind of rhetoric and have this tragedy and just toxic, disgusting history. This is not a unicorn. Here's the other thing. There's not a single lyric in the song that references race or points to it. Here's the deal. This is what happens when you let white people discuss what's racist. Let's go to the lyrics, shall we? Cuss at a cop, spit in his face, carjack an old lady at a red light, pull a gun on the owner of a liquor store. You think it's cool? Well, act a fool if you like. Let me just be very clear. When you think about carjackings, what do you think about? What demo do you think of? You're not thinking of Kyle from a small town. You're not. You're thinking about a black person. Or a liquor store robbery. Here's the thing. White people love to, or not, that's the thing. People love to say what isn't racist or transphobic or homophobic. Yeah, we get into Jess Hilarious later. Because they're like, well, I didn't say this, so it's not racist. Here's the thing. Unconscious bias is a real thing, meaning unconsciously you have this bias against a group. It's very interesting that the same people who have a problem with the Black Lives Matter, Native Lives Matter, any kind of non-white issue, non-white demo who was like protesting Trans Lives Matter, pick one that is protesting about how they are treating this country. White people sure do have an issue with that, but then want it to be fine if they, I don't know, are going out massless, raw dog in air in the middle of a global pandemic and don't want nobody saying anything, bringing tiki torches, marching through a street. They should be fine. Committing treason, capital crimes at the White House and thinking that's okay. But you're telling other people, y'all just better be lucky that y'all can live in this great country. Y'all don't make a lick of sense. But again, racism is illogical. I can't. Like he okay, so the references are not meritless. They have merit. It's not dangerous people calling you out, Mr. Aldean. It's dangerous that y'all actually did this in the first place. Because the bad part about it is when it comes to this part of history, y'all don't ever want nobody to talk about it. But don't forget 9/11, right? Don't forget this, right? Don't forget that, right? Listen, girl, that was so long ago. So if anybody says to you, like, they'll say, like, oh, it was so long ago. You want to know why y'all think it was so long ago? Because a lot of photos from then are in black and white. Put them in color, then you realize how literally, how not far away that used to be. Here's the thing about this. Because at first he would say, like, right after he said, this remind me of us growing up. Again, I said he grew up in Macon, Georgia. It's like, girl, what the hell are you talking about? It's like, you did not grow up in a small town. So what the hell are you talking about? So CMT pulled the video because here's the thing. People complained about it. Can I just say this? If you think black people had this video pulled down, let's be very clear. I think white people complain too. See, that's the other part that I think Jason does not realize. It wasn't just black people or non-white people who probably complained about this. Please know, it's probably people who live in a small town who probably complained about your ass too. But to when it comes to the viewing, though the video is pulled from CMT, it has over 18 million views on YouTube as of July 25th. The song also hit #1 on the Hot Country Song chart and #2 on the Billboard Hot 100. The track had the largest week of sales for a country song in more than 10 years, according to Billboard. See how lopsided it is? People complained, but people like, that's the thing. They probably did a hate listen. A download's a download. Shout out to Curtis. Download's a download. That man. Oracle. Him. So let's talk about how people came and dug in his little behind. One, Miss Sheryl Crow. I spoke up the sun. I just love Sheryl Crow. I do. So she said on her Twitter when it came to this song, at Jason Aldean, I'm from a small town. Even people in small towns are sick of violence. There's nothing small town or American about promoting violence. You should know that better than anyone having survived a mass shooting. This is not American or small town, like it's just lame. Yeah. Here's the thing. The fact that people have to say that, because here's the thing, it's very idealistic about Jason Aldean to say this is how it happens in a small town. You want to actually get a real gauge of a small town, talk to non-white people who've grown up in small towns. See how they were treated. Or better yet, introduce Jason Aldean to what's called a sundown town. Because some of these lyrics literally pop out like, you're acting like small towns are sundown towns. So, for anybody who doesn't know what a sundown towns are all white municipalities or neighborhoods in the United States that practice a form of racial segregation by excluding non-whites via some combination of discriminatory local laws, intimidation, or violence. Back in the day, during Oprah's show, she had a show about race, and she came to a certain town. Those people in that audience told her, girl, you better make sure you are out of town before sunset. Because if you are here after sundown, you may not make it to sunrise. And that is what his song sounds like. So not only do you have, the Blue Lives Matter, the terrible energy, the stock photos or videos from protests from other countries, not here in America. You literally sent a gas, you literally sent a dog whistle to the folks that's up in your views, who listen to your music, who share this kind of disgusting rhetoric. You literally and he doubled and tripled down. It's like, the thing about it is, I don't want to harp too much on Jason Aldean because one, he doesn't care, because he doesn't care about other people. He can say that he does, he don't. Because the thing about it is that what violence begets violence. So why are you talking about, like, don't come to a small town? Sir, you don't even live in a small town and you're not from a small town, so you don't know anything. And the bad part about it is we talk about it and it's so hurtful. This is 2023 we're talking about, not 1984, not 1976, not even 2001. It's 2023. And these backwards thinking assholes like this person and the person, let's be very clear, and the people who wrote this song, because he is quick to point out, I didn't even write this song. Oh, baby, we don't care. I saw people trying to like basically defend it. So here's the deal: to defend the song and the video. You know, it's really funny. It made me think of the issue. It made me think of Beyonce and the video for Nation. So let's talk about the controversy for Beyonce's Formation video. And just in case you want the lyrics to this, I know y'all know it. I'm gonna try not to sing it when I'm gonna try not to sing it when I say it. Now, I'm not saying all of it, but let me just say this. Y'all haters corny with that Illuminati mess. Paparazzi, catch my fly and my cocky fresh. I'm so reckless when I rock my Givenchy dress. I'm so possessive, so I rock his rock necklaces. My daddy, Alabama. Mama, look, see, I'm not. Okay. You mix that Negro with that Creole, make a Texas Bama. I like my baby hair with baby. I like my baby hair with baby hair and afros. I like my Negro nose with Jackson 5 nostrils. Earned all this money, but they never take the country out me. I got hot sauce in my bag, says. Swag, sorry. Now, see this. Yeah. I'm not going to see, y'all gonna make me sing it, and I'm trying not to sing it. But now that is some of the lyrics. Let's see. Let's controversy. Formation is music, and this is from Wikipedia. Formation is music video, and the performance at the Super Bowl received criticism from conservative figures, law enforcement organizations, and social media users over perceived anti-police, anti-American, anti-racist messages. Former mayor of New York City, Rudy Giuliani, called the performance outrageous, adding, I don't know what the heck it was, a bunch of people bouncing around and all strange things. It was terrible. Congressman Peter King condemned the Formation video, saying that no one should really care what she thinks about any serious issue confronting our nation. Canadian politician Jim Karagianis said that the Canadian government should investigate Beyonce and consider banning her from the country. Conservative commentator Rush Limbaugh said that the song was, quote unquote, representative of the cultural decay and social riot that is befalling our country. Conservative TV host Tommy Lauren directed a rant towards Beyonce, accusing her of ramrodding an aggressive agenda down our throats and concluding, your husband was a drug dealer for 14 years. He sold crack cocaine. Talk about protecting Black neighborhoods. Start at home. Beyonce requested to use 30 seconds of Lauren's rant for the Formation World Tour, but Lauren denied the request. Oh my God. I thought she could have gotten paid for that. That's stupid. An anti-Beyonce campaign was started on social media titled hashtag boycott Beyonce, which was met with competing hashtag I stand with Beyonce. Yeah, for competing hashtag I stand with Beyonce hashtag. As part of the campaign, an anti-Beyonce protest was held on February 6, 2016. February 16th, 2016, outside the NFL headquarters, citing the hate speech and racism in Beyonce's performance, which encouraged a counter protest but to be organized. In order to stoke unrest as part of the Russian interference in the 2016 US elections, the Kremlin backed International Research Agency placed adverts on Instagram urging people to attend the protest. Only 3 anti Beyonce protesters attended, while a larger counter protest gathered, holding signs expressing statements such as pro black doesn't mean anti white. The National Sheriff's Association linked Beyonce's performance to the killings of 7 law enforcement officers in the U.S. That made no sense. Rutherford County Sheriff Robert Arnold banned shots being fired outside of his home on the Formation video. Police unions across the U.S. encouraged a boycott of Formation World Tour. Outside Beyonce's concert at NRG Stadium, which is in Houston, on May 7, 2016, the coalition of police and sheriffs held a demonstration over the Black Lives Matter themes in Formation. The protesters wore Police Lives Matter t-shirts, held a printout of Jay-Z's mugshot, and shone a blue light towards the stadium. President of the Tampa Police Benevolent Association, Vinny Gariciano, I might be pronouncing his name incorrectly, urged a boycott of Beyonce's music video and tour, however, ensured that her concert in Tampa would be properly policed. Other law enforcement organizations did not join the boycott, such as those in Houston and Raleigh, the latter of which voted unanimously not to boycott the tour. Now, here's the deal about this. Now, mind you, they wanted to do boycotts based on her video and her performance, where she was literally paying homage to Michael Jackson. It wasn't it wasn't literally, if you could do like the simplest of Google searches, you know, if you looked at the top, that was a homage to Michael Jackson. The reason that we have the spectacular, big budget Super Bowl performances now, it's because of Michael Jackson. Before, it was literally just a marching band. Michael Jackson did a halftime show, and all of a sudden it's like, honey, y'all gonna have to bring it. And after that, we have gotten Prince, may he rest in peace, fantastic show. We've had the Rolling Stones, Paul McCartney, Beyonce several times. We've had Lady Gaga. We've had the big mashup with Aerosmith, NSYNC, Britney Spears. We've had J-Lo v. Shakira. We had Miss Rihanna, Robin Fenty. I love you, girl. We've had some amazing. Maybe one of these days we will have the man that deserves to have a halftime show. We should really have it. Let's talk about the Dr. Dre halftime show. Fantastic. Yeah, the man that I really want to see have a halftime show, Usher. Also, low-key, Stevie Wonder. They would kill it. So the thing about it is, it's like Michael set the tone. It's because of him that now it's like, you better have a really good halftime show for Rio. So there were a lot of people, they spoke a lot about this video, because I think it was like, how dare she put up Black Lives Matter? She's a whole Black woman. What are y'all trying to do? I think she was drowning a police car. But some of these same people who had an issue with that, y'all ain't saying nothing about Jason Aldean. You want to know why? Because one, only for white people, or white people who think like this, only their anger is righteous. Nobody else's. Y'all don't get to be upset. You lucky we let y'all live here. As if our ancestors didn't literally bleed and die so that I could get on this microphone and say what I want. I can go to a restaurant and sit where I want. I can go and get a car. There's a lot of stuff, like literally every right that I have as a Black woman in America, somebody had to fight for me to do it. It was like, let's be very clear. The Emancipation Proclamation was not done out of the kindness of this man's heart. He didn't want it to happen. Women's suffrage movement, it was not because they wanted to be equal to their partners. They just had an issue with free Black men being able to do it. We have a pride parade that is now a raid. It was started because of a protest. Because Black and brown trans women were tired of being treated like shit. Please do the Googles. Or the TikToks, because girl, it's here. Okay, I gotta get off Jason Aldean because I've talked about this way too much. Because that's low key. It should be. I'm saying low key, but everything is high. It's like, ooh, So high. Second thing, Carly Russell. Now, this young lady, everybody saw this happen. Carly Russell, a young woman, said she called 911, said that she saw a baby on the side of the road. Then they heard a scream, and homegirl went missing for 2 days. You saw on social media rally to say, girl, bring her home. She went home 2 days later. There was no, let's talk about it. Like, there was no statement from her, no social media. I'm like, she hadn't said anything. I kind of didn't care. I was just glad to see her come home. Then I saw the first group of people to poke holes in what they saw was us. White people did too. Let's not even go there. But I saw the people, and it's mostly because it's just the way my timeline is curated. I saw mostly Black people doing this, mostly Black women, a lot of Black. It's like it was just mostly Black people. I'm not even going to like point out, like, separate the demographic out under Blackness. It was just Black people. Then all of a sudden, people were like, she lying. This was a hoax. There's like nothing didn't happen. There was no child. You saw her parents get on the news talking about, like, she said she fought for her life, which y'all should have realized that means she lied to her parents too. So now we're at the point where all of this has now come out that this was a hoax. There was no kidnapping. And then you see people doing this thing that they did with Jussie. Now, let me just tell you this. Jussie lied. Allegedly. Okay, y'all, I need y'all help me out. So I might want a Carlos King allegedly merch. I might need that. Maybe a hat. I don't know if I want a shirt, but I might want a hat that says allegedly, because I feel like I love that. But allegedly, Jussie lied to the police. Here's the deal. I'm gonna tell you why I was like, not like, oh my God, this is terrible. It was the Chicago PD. The police department, who literally killed people and covered it up, allegedly, who have ruined a child's birthday party by going to the wrong address, allegedly. Yeah, he lied. He allegedly lied to them. I don't care. Y'all, it's really weird where it's like, F the police and all cops are bad until this, and all of a sudden it's like, you wasted it, and now nobody is going to believe us. I was like, what are y'all talking about? And then I saw some of the same rhetoric with this thing with Carly Russell. Here's the deal. Anybody who is saying what I'm about to say is not saying that what she did is okay, because it's not. One, I'm not even thinking about the people on social media who just maybe shared it or talked about it or made content about it. I'm talking about them. I'm talking about the fact that your mama, you worried your mama for 48 hours because allegedly your dude was cheating on you. That young lady is under 26, if I'm not mistaken. Girl, she hasn't learned yet. Drop that nigga right on off. Drop him off. You don't need, girl, you need to be like Khadijah don't need you to these dudes. But to do this, it's like, girl, that girl was hurting. And she has issues that she's gonna have to sort out, really. So again, no one is saying that what she did was not, it's like that, it's not okay. Because one, I'm not thinking about all this, and so I'm not even thinking about me. Because the thing about it is, the praise of the righteous does avail of much, right? I'm not going to like, oh my God, I'm like, if you did it for the right reason, you're like, girl, why you do that? Is it disappointing? Of course. But here's the other thing. Did it ever occur to anybody? What if she literally disappeared and unalived herself? We're acting like people don't do that. People don't say on social media, like, goodbye world, and people find out like, oh, yeah, they unalived themselves. Or how about a dude who was very touched, literally filming as he unalived the mother of his child and It's like these kind of things happen. I'm going to say this, and I want y'all to hear me. Hear me very clearly. It is easy to opt out of something that you never truly opted into in the first place. For the folks that are sitting here saying this is going to make it 10 times harder for people to like care about Black women disappearing, y'all full of shit. This is the, like, seriously. Some of the folks doing this, y'all don't care about Black women in that respect either. If we really, as a consciousness, really, really, truly cared about the disappearance of Black women, there would not be a need for a Black Girl Lost podcast. There would not need to be a genre of Black girls and women missing. There should not be little like out there on social media with the First Lady of the United States, Michelle Obama, saying, "Bring back our girls." The Me Too movement that was started because of what was happening to Black women should not have been a thing if we truly care. So y'all can miss me with this whole Carly fucked something up. She didn't. Y'all never truly opted into caring about Black women. Because guess what? She lied. Okay. There's still a good 80,000 Black women missing right now. Y'all care about that? A Black woman who literally got into an argument with a Black man. That man physically assaulted her. Her son saw that, and her son saw that, shot this man that was literally beating on this woman. And by the way, there were adult men in that room. His wife or girlfriend or significant other was egging that shit on. Because witnesses lied about what happened, that woman and her son went to jail. They lied on that woman after they saw that man punch her repeatedly. As far as I'm concerned, that nigga, he fucked around and found out. Like all these, don't talk about my mama, don't talk about my mama, niggas who were literally like, how dare he, like, you need to get that boy out of that town because guess what? Y'all saying, don't ever talk about my mama, you don't touch my mama over everything, I only love my mama. Y'all were silent. Y'all acting like that nigga ain't had that shit coming. You don't put your hands on, especially women or people paying. You don't fucking know because you don't know. Doing what this man did? Absolutely not. But here's the thing. Play stupid games, win stupid prizes. Some of the same y'all like Carly Russell fucked it up for everybody. No, she didn't. A lot of y'all remember this story. Felicia Barnes. If you're from Baltimore or the surrounding areas, remember Felicia Barnes. She was a 16-year-old girl. She was not from here. She was coming to visit her family that lived up here. She disappeared from one of her cousin's places, couldn't find it. The family had been putting up, like, can you help us find her? They had like an LED billboard. You could see it from the highway. The city didn't pay for that. They paid for that. So she disappeared because she came around Christmas break. She disappeared around the 28th. They looked for her for months. So from December 28th up until like April, it's like the thing about it is the family had to do that. I think a couple of churches helped them pay for it. But they didn't start really searching until April. This girl disappeared in December. They found this poor girl's body on April 20th, 2011. Y'all can miss me with those whole curly mess shit up because there's a Felicia Barnes in every city. And what happened to me, that girl was 16 years old. They were not looking for her. So if you've lived long enough, you will know. Y'all saying that Curly screwed something up, please know. No, she didn't. There are little girls that disappear all the time. Black women who go missing and nobody looks for them. There was a woman that was trapped in a building. She had been kidnapped and she'd been sexually assaulted. Police weren't really looking for her. A passerby heard her, and he the one who got her the fuck out of that house. Stop acting like y'all really opted into protecting Black women because y'all don't. And I'm saying the hashtag y'all. Please not write into me and say, no, I care. Girl, I'm not talking about you individually. But y'all kind of knew that already. The other part about this is that I notice collectively there is something mentally wrong and she really needs help. It's much like she a criminal, knock her ass up. So not only as a collective, we don't care about Black women, we also don't extend sympathy and empathy to someone who literally has mental problems. We don't, as a collective. Again, because y'all don't opt into that. But y'all act like we don't know that. I do. My heart breaks for Carly Russell's family. Because here's the very big thing. The people that should be extremely it's her fucking family. Because that's what she told them. Her mama deserved to literally smack the piss out of her. I would not be surprised. The person that really should be hurt and mad is her family. You worried your family because of some raggedy ass dude. And what's worse, y'all ready to throw the book at her about the place that y'all said y'all want her thrown into the system. You said is set up against Black people. It's so funny how that teeter totters, you know? Funny, funny, haha, but not funny, not funny, haha, funny, weird. How we'll lean on the system when it's certain things, right? I get it. People get really mad when they start to care about something on the surface, it's very shallow. And then they're like, oh my God, am I boo-bootiful? No. Carly Russell is one person. She embarrassed herself. She hurt her family very deeply. There are more Black women. I suggest you definitely find this out. People get sent home. People don't make it home. Young girls disappear. Police are like, oh, they must be bad. They must have just ran away. Our girls get sex trafficked. People are like, oh no, they must have just wanted to do it. Yeah, because manipulation and grooming don't reach Black girls, right? Do what um do like a time to kill. Close your eyes. Pretend she's white. See how easy people will actually care then. The last thing, y'all, it's not fun, is let's talk about the Jess Hilarious of it all. Now, here's the thing about this. Let me say this disclaimer. Jess represents herself. She have the Baltimore lingo? She sure do. She probably say Doug, and it's like it's fine. Jess Hilarious is a comedian. I don't want to say allegedly because she does say she's a comedian. I'm not gonna say allegedly. Um, she decided to respond to a video that a trans woman put up about womanhood and menstrual cycles. So I didn't realize this was a thing that happened to Jess Hilarious. So apparently, Jess Hilarious had been, for a while, had been mistaken, and I didn't realize this because I was like, "What?" Before she had gave birth to her child, people joked that she was a trans woman, and that literally bothered the literal shit out of her. Um, so it really bothered her to be, how dare you think that I was not born a woman? Um, it is so weird to me. I know, y'all. I'm over 40. The amount of girl, what? The thing about it is, as fine as some trans women are, because one, I say trans women are women. I've said that. I still say that. For some women, that is like the biggest insult to say, how dare you think I used to be born a man? I need women like her to grow up when it comes to that rhetoric. I don't even know how to explain this to you. Because the thing about it is, that's not an insult. It's hurled as an insult, but just really, she has issues when it comes to that. So a trans woman, and the thing about it is, the clip is what was going around. And I think it was a larger conversation because it was about womanness, and essentially, because from what I've been seeing, because I haven't seen the whole video, is that the woman that was speaking was taken out of context. However, comma, a lot of trans folks also did not really say, yes, she was totally right. A lot of people have not. They're saying she has kernels of points here and there. So it's about menstrual cycles and womanness. And they're like, and I think she said cishet women do not own that. And I find it very interesting that it's like, how dare you say we don't own it? It's like, because now that we have more language, because I don't think she was trying to say trans women. I think she was speaking to the fact that non binary folks, trans men, they have menstrual cycles because some of them were born female. So they actually menstruate as well. Hormone blockers can work up to a point if they are doing, they're not. They were trying to include trans men and non-binary folks, but it turned into, let's talk about trans women. It's like, wait a minute. Well, here's the other thing. When it comes to womanness, if you are saying what makes you as a woman is if you can bear children, please talk to the millions of women who cannot. Does that make them less women? What about the women who no longer have a menstrual cycle? Did they stop being women? And I'm talking about the women who were born women and also identify as the gender that they were assigned at birth. I'm talking about those folks. I'm talking about people like me. If they don't have if women don't have children or no longer menstruate, are they not women? Just because then it's kind of like when you mention that, it's like the goalpost keeps moving. So it's kind of like then the folks that you kind of knew what they were going to say, and I'm glad they did. Because I'm like, yeah. So T.S. Madison, who I enjoy, and by the way, she is somebody who's literally talked about the growth of her thinking and how she carries herself. She don't carry herself the same way she did like 10, 15 years ago. She has grown up. So she put out a tweet a few days ago that said there are so many quote unquote real women that get mistaken for being quote unquote transgender. I'm putting in quotes because she put her tweet in quotes, yo. Women, stop that. And that's where a lot of the anger comes from. I do hope they take a good look at how transphobia affects all women, because it does. A biological woman, a woman that was assigned female at birth, was actually killed because I'm sorry, unalived, my bad. Because a man thought that she was a trans woman. I want y'all to hear me that again. A woman who was assigned female at birth and identified as female for her entire life was unalived by someone who thought she was they thought she was a trans woman and was like, ain't gonna fool me. Pew, pew, pew. Transphobia does affect all of us. I can get into the colorism. I could talk about bodies. Like if you are a darker skinned woman, you are automatically seen as more masculine. Jess Hilarious. Serena Williams had this issue as well. Serena is so fucking bad. They literally thought it was like they made jokes that she used to be a man. You don't think she would have told you that by now? She really, truly wanted. It's none of your business. But if she really wanted to tell you, she probably would have. But also, please recognize the fact that it's like because she is over a certain size, her body is bad. And oh yeah, by the way, she was winning. Caster Semenya, who was born, he was signed female at birth because her white counterparts were complaining about how well she was doing. They were like, she has to be a man. She had to be, I'm sorry. She has to be born a man. She cannot be she had to have been born a man. That's how well she did. So let's talk about this. They questioned how well she was doing. It really was white women. It's like they basically said it wasn't fair. Kester was beating the brakes off their asses, and they said that's not fair. They made, and the thing about it, I think, let me see if I can find it, because essentially, Miss Semenya is an intersex woman with a 5A reductase 2 deficiency. She was assigned female at birth with XY chromosomes and natural heterogenetic testosterone level. So because she is intersex, I'm sorry. For anybody who doesn't know, because I wanted to look at this because it was like she was assigned female at birth, and that's who she'd identify as. But intersex people are individuals born with any of several sex characteristics, including chromosome patterns, gonads, or genitals that, according to the Office of United Nations High Commissioner for Human Rights, do not, quote unquote, do not fit typical binary notions of male or female bodies. So they teeter-totter in between. But Cassie was assigned female at birth, and that's how she identified. She didn't stop identifying, but because folks are like, oh, she has to be a former man to like win, and that's not true. Also, Cassie's not a unicorn about this because it happens to a lot of different people. But she's an intersex woman, and they still, I don't know, a lot of people may not remember this about Sierra, the singer Sierra. They used to make jokes about Sierra that maybe Sierra also used to be, I'm putting this in quotes, quote unquote, used to be a man. That happens to like literally women who, this happens to cishet women all the time. So watching cishet women not defend trans women, I'm like, this is the issue. That's the issue. Because people are, oh, you like, they like, if you're a heavier woman, you're a darker woman, you're seen as more masculine. If you're dark skin, you're seen as more masculine. Y'all act like y'all don't know this, but I feel like y'all do. But you know, it's whatever. Jess Hilarious and the folks who agreed with Jess Hilarious, and mostly the women, I'll say this. There's a time where we said masculinity so fragile when you heard men talking way wild ass shit about women. Take it for someone who's been here on this planet for 40 years. My femininity is not that fragile. A woman wanted to identify as the gender that she is most comfortable with does not threaten my femininity or me being a woman. And it shouldn't threaten yours either. But it's easy to punch down than the easiest to punch up. Because you're not going after these men who are unaliving trans women. You're not going after them. You're not going after the patriarchy. You punching down, we should be punching up, but it's easier to punch down. And it's sad and it's pathetic. Women like Jess who have that kind of mindset are pathetic. Yeah, I said it. You're pathetic. You need to grow up. If a woman identifying how she want to feel is threatening to how you identify, baby, you need to like sit down, go get a coupon code, get on BetterHelp, go get a journal, read, go drink some water, touch some grass. I don't care what you need to do, but baby doll, we need to be pulling each other up, not punching down, especially when trans women definitely be standing up for Black women. I'm sorry, let me say this. Trans women be standing up for cis het Black women all the damn time, in spite of a lot of us not doing the same thing. Sound familiar? How Black women stand up for everybody? Nobody don't stand up for us. Sound familiar? And we keep doing it. Because it's like, who gonna pill me up quicker than a Black woman? Cis or trans, don't care. Trans women or women, kind of don't care what y'all think. If your femininity is so fragile, you need to take a very long you need to do some reflection. Because let's be very clear, dear Black women, you do realize white people, white men, white women did not respect our femininity because we were slaves. We're like, y'all not real women. They literally would not let us identify. Literally wanted to say, y'all not real ladies. Black women have never been ladies of leisure. Indigenous women have not been ladies of, like, non-white women. We have not been ladies, most notably Black people. Black women have never been ladies of leisure. Please pick a time. So, if your identity has always been in question, who are you to actually punch down and question? How about you drink your water and mind your business? It should not be Laverne Cox, who literally magnanimous to somebody like Jess Hilarious, still listened to her. Why does somebody gotta be nice to you when you really don't give a shit about them? Because let's be very clear, Jess, the demographic that you're sending dog whistles to about when y'all gonna stand up for us, you do realize they don't stand up for you either. The demographic that you're probably yoo-hooing to, yeah, they were in the room where the Black man literally punched a woman 2 or 3 times until her son stood up for her. Some of that demographic was at an event where a man said something derogatory, but put it in as a compliment And then he started getting wild and aggressive, and they said nothing. Nothing. A woman got shot, and they make jokes. And that nigga did it, allegedly. I don't want to hear it. That's sad and pathetic. And I need y'all to grow up. Please stop punching down on others in our community. Baby, we got to stop that. Nobody as beautiful as T.S. Madison, Hope Giselle, Laverne Cox, Angelica Ross, they should not be wasting their pretty on none of this shit from y'all, especially Jess Hilarious. The same Jess Hilarious who literally tried to get a man put off a plane, not because he was doing anything suspicious, he literally was existing. How white of you. And then wanted to express to Laverne, like, that wasn't fair. And then also got into an argument with somebody, called him a gay slur, and then said, I don't know why y'all was upset. You're saying it to Laverne. I mean, I was only trying to hurt him. Here's the thing. Slurs are for whole demographics of people. So you use a slur, you hitting everybody. Asshole is gender and race, ethnicity, religion, political. It's neutral to everybody. You saying a slur and then saying I was only trying to hurt him, it's like, baby, you do realize the people that may be cool with you may look at you like, wait a minute, so you mad at this dude, you said to him what you gonna say to me if we fall out. See how that works? This is what happens when you think I can just say this shit and it's just gonna hurt one person. No, baby, it shines a light on you. It's like, if you so easily to say these words, it's like, I guess it's part of your vocabulary, The thing about it is, if y'all literally keep caping for people who have not really demonstrated all that growth, cape for the people who have the growth, who've actually dictated, and you can see by their actions that they have grown. The thing about it is that video is maybe a few months old. I'm not sure why this came out now. I'm not exactly sure, and I kind of don't care. I drink my water and mind my business. Y'all should do the same. Please, the thing about it is, why are we not extending sympathy and empathy to people in our own demo? Because we all black. I'm talking about under the umbrella of blackness. I don't want no trans person, no queer person, no Muslim person, no Jewish person. I don't want anybody suffering. But let me just say this: under the umbrella of blackness, why are we punching down? We all black. We get punched down on every fucking day. Why are you punching down? Why are you returning the favor? You are, don't pay it back. Pay it forward. You should be getting out there and saying, look, injustice somewhere, injustice for one is injustice for all. Come on, y'all. We can do better. We can. But again, my femininity is not that fragile. Y'all shouldn't be either. Especially when you enjoy the entertainment. You enjoy the entertainment of queer folks, but you don't like queer people. You enjoy the entertainment of trans folks, but you don't like trans people. Kind of sound like a certain demographic who really, really like football, but didn't like when the quarterback of the San Francisco 49ers decided to kneel because of racial injustice. And all of a sudden, it became like certain dog whistles. Because certain demographics only like black athleticism. They don't like black athletes. See how y'all sound? Y'all sound like white people. And how they talk about non-white people. People different than them. Baby, we can do better. But if you need to hold on to this thing, that says a lot about you. Not trans folks. It says a lot about you. And the thing about it is, we are not owed education, especially when there's so much out there. There are books. There are people who literally take their emotional labor and should be paid for it. Some of them do, some of them are not, to actually educate people and to watch people literally just act like the information not there. People have not said anything. It's sad. There are activists out there. There are people at podcasts. We have the Girl Down podcast. We have Marsha's Plate, Queer Walk. Stop acting like people are not on here trying to educate y'all asses. I'm sorry, not y'all asses, us. They're trying to educate us so we can be better people. When you learn, when you know better, you do better. Baby, we got to do better. Stop highlighting people who literally have not demonstrated they've grown. Eddie Murphy is one of the funniest stand-ups I've ever seen. As Delirious. The first 5 to 10 minutes a little bit cringeworthy because, girl, but after that, honey, hilarious. It still is. Edward, he could be Edward. I don't know. It might be Evan. Eddie Murphy flat out said he would never make those jokes again. And he said it's because I've grown. I'm a father. I'm a grandfather. I don't make the kind of thing. I was an immature, stupid man. He was barely 30 years old. He's like, I was an idiot. I would never make those jokes again. And he don't. Again, when you know better, you do better. We got to become better. Because we have the stuff. We are descendants of movers and shakers, kings and queens, orators, evangelists. We are ancestors of a mighty, rich culture. Whether your culture is from the shores of Africa or the shores of the Caribbean, or just the shores of the Chesapeake Bay. The Black demo is very, very powerful. But we ain't powerful if we're trying to fight each other. And we're not fighting a real enemy. White supremacy, patriarchy, every phobia and ism out there. Those are our real enemies, not each other. Jess needs to do better. But as long as y'all reward bad behavior, she's not going to. Baby, we got to grow. I think we got a show. So, welcome to the Mocha Minutes Podcast. Thank you so much for listening. August is coming up. It is now Leo season. It's my time to shine, girl, please. 365, I shine. But Leo season is my time. I got my crown on. Yep, I do. It's our time. I literally found out that one of my favorite aunts, she's a Leo. I didn't even realize this. And I'm like, oh my God, she's a Leo. That's why I fucks with her. That's my boo. I fucks with her heavy. That's my baby. My dad always said I acted like her. I'm like, no, I do kind of act like her. I really do. I ain't even gonna hold you. I really do. But he said it all the time. You just like her. I'm like, yeah, because we don't take no stuff because we Leos. But y'all, this is the Mocha Minutes Podcast. Let me get back on my stuff. Let me say this. Please, please, please like, share, and subscribe. Please, if you can, share this episode. Also, if you be so inclined, buy me a coffee, buymeacoffee.com/Mocha Minutes. Y'all, I took a break, but the Patreon is coming. I might be adding these thoughts to the Patreon. But again, thank y'all so much for listening. Thank you. And I can't believe I'm saying this. I haven't said it in a while. I will see you next week. Bye.
Say, when they struggling on their date, the big girl is going to be the one that's going to step up more.
See, this is a terrible take by that young lady in the yellow dress because men don't settle for big women when they down and struggling. If bro is with a big woman, it's because that man love big women. There ain't nothing wrong with it. That's that man's preference. But it be other women that are single and bitter be questioning, how can that big girl be in a relationship, but I can't get a man? Because you over here looking down on this woman thinking she don't got no confidence, when in reality, big women be having the most confidence in the world. You come across a big girl, let me tell you, she thinks she the baddest girl in there, and that's respectful on her end. I'm not trying to come at nobody, but she gonna think she the baddest woman in there, and I ain't mad at you. But see, that's how you can tell when somebody hating, because she herself look the way she do, but she probably knows some big women that are happy in relationships, and she questioning why those men are with her. Little do you know, big women know how to take care of their men.
Say, when they struggling on their date, the big girl is going to be the one that's